BLUF Gaming here. We've got two different designs for a 2 to 5 belt splitter. All of these are able to maintain any segregation you have from the left and right lanes on an individual belt, and they give perfectly even distribution of goods on the 5 outgoing lanes. The main reasons for choosing one or the other are that the one on the right has 5 output lanes, and you see that that's exactly how wide the entire mechanism is, whereas on the left the width is 7 in total. However, the length of the total contraption, where it is 7 wide, is not as long as the 5 wide's critical sections are. So, depending on what shape you need, feel free to choose one or the other, or to mirror it and give yourself an analog that goes the other way. So feel free to stick around for the details if you want to see exactly how this works. Okay, let's go ahead and build these from the ground up so we can see how they work. We're going to have our 2 incoming lanes, which we put through a splitter. Let's go ahead and handle the right side first. Split again, and again into 4. So what we have here is 100% coming in, split into 50 and 50. This 50 comes up, split into 25s, and then 12.5% each of these 4 outgoing lanes. Our 5th outgoing lane is going to be right here. So let's see if we can get it at 12.5% as well. We have 50 coming out right here, so let's split that down to 25, and then send it through another splitter, getting us to the 12.5% that everybody else has so far. Now, just like with all the other splitter designs that have extra lanes coming in that you don't want to get backed up, we need to recycle these. And we have 2 places we can send them. We can send them here, and we can send them here. But these 2 lanes aren't carrying the same amount. What we have is right here, 100% goes in, so this thing gets 50, so this sends 25% right here. It also sends 25% here, which gets split into 12.5 and 12.5. So this belt has 25% and this belt has 12.5%. So rather than send one into one and one into another and not getting an even distribution, we're going to combine them together, and then we're going to send the result into both of those remaining entrances using an underground belt. So that's going to give us 20% in all the lanes, and of course it's going to preserve the left and right lane items in case you have different items on the belt. Now let's build the other one. Start with our 2 incoming lanes. This one's slightly different. Instead of a single initial splitter, we're going to have 2 initial tier 1 splitters. And then we're going to recombine half of each, giving us 50% right here. And then we're going to go ahead and split it up. So we have 50 right here. That gets split into 25 and 25, and then 4 12.5s. But this is not an outgoing lane. That's a recycle lane. Now before we start handling the recycle lanes, let's look at what's going to happen to these 2 tier 1 lanes coming out here. These each have 25%, which is the largest load we haven't accounted for. So let's send them out. And actually, how about we go ahead and combine them? Now combining these 2 gives us 50% coming into this. So one lane will give us 25, and that lane will give us 25. And if we split this 25%, we're left with 12.5%, just like the other 3 lanes. And of course, all of our remaining lanes that are unaccounted for need to be recycled. Luckily this time, unlike on this side, both of these unrecycled lanes or unrecycled belts have the exact same amount in them. So all we have to do is send them into these tier 1s and everything will be even. You can snake around here, but this thing's wide enough already at 7 wide, so we're just going to use an underground belt and send it back through. And those are our 2 to 5 lane splitters. Not incredibly useful, but it does come up sometimes. But a 2 to 6 splitter is going to be a lot more useful, and we'll cover that in the next video. Now, before you go, let's see this in action, just so you know I haven't been pulling your leg the entire time. You're a wise engineer, and you don't want to spend the time on something this complicated unless you know it's going to work. Sorry engineers, I've been neglecting my base and had a bit of a biter invasion. I had to go take care of a few things. So, we're back here with a load ready to go. Let's see how these 2 perform. As with all of the balancers and splitters we've covered so far, they're designed so that if you have separate items in your left and right lanes on the belts, that will be preserved as it comes out in the output lanes. And you also see that these contraptions we've made here are giving even amounts of output to all 5 lanes, so they're doing their job admirably. Next up, I'll be doing a 2 to 6 lane balancer, which I think is probably the most valuable of the 2s because it allows you to fill evenly 6 different chests all ready to load up onto a train, because 6 is the most number of inserters you can have working on one side of a train car. So there's a lot of use of going to 6, although there is some use to going to 5 whenever you're dealing with high volume transport. So thanks for tuning in. This has been Bottom Line Up Front, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions or maybe even better designs we might need to review or add to our games.